A Daily Wire host thinks transgender people are demons.
This is demonic stuff, really demonic stuff. And I made this point, I got in trouble with our publicists over at Media Matters because I said that the attacks on man's sexual nature and sexual difference and complementarity are demonic. And they are. They go back throughout all of history, throughout some of the earliest depictions of demons. Even one of the most prominent depictions of demons, it comes from an artist, Eliphas Levi, who is an occultist, who did a depiction of Baphomet. If you just think, what's a demon look like? You're probably thinking of this picture. And it's a trans depiction. It's a depiction of a man and a woman kind of blended together in this grotesque way. It is no coincidence that these depictions are what we see in this highly, highly dangerous ideology. It is no coincidence that when you attack this ideology, I've gone after so many different leftist views, leftist hobby horses, leftist ideologies, and you get pushback. If you defend the Second Amendment, you get pushback. If you push back on critical race theory, you get some angry people sending you messages. Nothing comes close to when you push back against the transgender agenda. The images that people send you, the threats that people make against you, it's exactly what that woman described. And it is demonic.
Wow. Okay, so nonsense, complete and utter gobbledygook, religious garbage. You know what the transgender agenda is? I'm gonna spill the secret, okay? I know the trans agenda, okay? Here's what it is: to be left alone and live their lives. Oh my God, that's it. That's it. That's what transgender people want. They want to be left alone by people like Michael Knowles and live their lives. That's it. Wow. I know. Crazy, right? Crazy. No, look, here's the thing, though. So Michael Knowles is making this weirdo pseudo-religious point based on, again, weirdo nonsense, occulty stuff. You know, apparently there's a market for this. People tune in and be like, oh, yeah, Michael. Oh, yeah, Michael Knowles. Yeah, you're right. Oh, definitely. Oh, demonic. Yeah, Baphomet. Yes. It makes no sense to me. Watching this, I'm like, what are you talking about? You sound like a person who should be ranting on a train somewhere. I mean, to yourself, like muttering to yourself on a subway or something. Or maybe in a subway. I don't know. It's just nonsense. Nonsense. So look, by the way, he's like, oh yeah, have you seen the picture of Baphomet? Oh yeah, and then he goes on to describe it. Wouldn't it just be easier to show the picture? I mean, that's what it looks like. Wow, crazy. So look, he likens that to like, oh, that's a depiction of transgenderism. No, it's not. First of all, let me give you some history here. There's no Baphomet in the Bible. So to claim that this is like a religious thing, like, oh, the Bible warned against this, the warns against the trans agenda, you see. No, the name actually appeared in trial transcripts from the Inquisition of the Knights Templar back in the 1300s. It's actually thought by some to have been another name for Muslims, or a representation of Muslims. Not the picture itself, but the name. So it wasn't until later that we actually got this goat man image. And that's again about around the 1900s when it got associated. The name Baphomet became associated with the Sabbatic goat drawn by Eliphas Levi, who was that occultist that Michael Knowles was talking about. Funny enough, the image is composed of binary elements representing the symbolization of the equilibrium of opposites, half human, half animal, male and female, good and evil. So Levi's intention apparently in this drawing was to symbolize his own concept of balance, with Baphomet representing the goal of perfect social order. I don't know anything in there that sounds demonic or evil. But then again, you talk to weirdos like Michael Knowles, I don't know, maybe he thinks that the idea of equilibrium or balance is evil. He certainly seems to think that equality is evil. Again, talking about, you push back against the critical race theory. Again, critical race theory is basically just was a college level framework of looking at the United States with a lens, using a lens of systemic injustice. That's really it. So you look at these systems, and you say, okay, there are systems here that do tend to perpetuate injustice against African Americans. Okay, but apparently that framework, and using that framework to examine those issues, that's evil. That's demonic. It's the devil, okay? It's the devil. It's all the devil. No, it's you wanting to ignore these social problems. It's you wanting to ignore these issues so that, I don't know, you can service white supremacy? I don't know. I really think that Michael Knowles doesn't really care about any of that. Doesn't really care about white supremacy, doesn't really care about, anything that he talks about. You know what Michael Knowles cares about, in my opinion? Money. I think that's what Michael Knowles cares about. I think that's the only issue behind, or I should say the driving force behind so many of these right-wing grifters. That's what it's about. They make easy money by going after marginalized communities and putting out nonsense. That's really it. And look, hey, maybe he, does think, oh no, it's my way or the highway. Maybe I actually do want to run your life according to my beliefs. Again, there are people like that out there. I just don't know where Michael Knowles stands in reality. But the result, whether he personally believes this stuff or not, is pretty much the same. Using absurd imagery and ridiculous talking points in order to justify cruelty towards the transgender community, towards a marginalized community, towards people who, again, are just trying to live their lives. And if you are going to ascribe evil to anything, it would be to the people who are looking to erase others for simply being different.